This world out here is lonely and cold. This world out here is so lonely and cold. This world out here is lonely and cold. Oh, I guess I'll go back home.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back.
Oh, yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? I see the girls in the club, they're getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style for me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunette.
Yeah, we're back. We'll do a little bit of a walk around, have a look, see what's going on, and try to give everybody a quick update. All right, another quick update on our 79 Firebird that we're converting into a 70 Firebird. We've got the motor in. We've got the new Tremec transmission in from American Powertrain. The cooling system is just starting to be all mocked up. And as you see right here, what we have is, this is all mock-up. Everything here is in a mock-up stage before we paint it. So we've did the lowering springs on it, front and back. So the car is now actually sitting down a lot closer to where the customer is looking for. And he's been in and looked at, absolutely loves it. So it's moving along quite well.
He's so stupid. Why are you limping?
Okay.
You don't have to walk like you.
Look at the size of the size. That's not limping. See, my other foot doesn't touch the ground. That's not limping.
Go back to work, please.
This one now has actually been in and out of the shop a couple of times, moving back and forth. The real change that you may not notice unless you look a little closely is the exhaust. It's finally, and it wasn't easy, it's finally done now where it comes out the side of the car. The car sounds absolutely amazing. Nice throaty sound, motor runs great. We're just starting now. We went through this all yesterday, giving ourselves a list of last little bits that we have to get for the car, and Tim is going to start putting the interior in that. As soon as we get carpet, he's starting on the interior. Carpet comes in next week, and away we go.
You're annoying me already today. I just want a straight answer. And my arm is wet, for real. I want it. That's not cool. No, don't, okay.
You're running! That makes it easier. We all need Jessie deterrent bottles. That's what we need.
Okay, this is our 68 Mustang convertible. It's all set, ready to go to our customer up in Toronto, except we got a call from last night saying, you know, I really love everything about this car, except for when I really drive it hard, I tend to slip around in the seats. Now, if we look over here, we've started taking the seats out. They've got a bit of bolstering more than a stock Mustang does, but what he would like is something more like a race seat or a very modern Mustang. So he's given us the green light to go ahead, tear the seats out. We're going to get a more modern seat in here that'll give him a little bit more stability in the car when it moves around, and I guess it's not going out this week.
It's got a really expensive rattle in this thing.
What is it?
Dropped my snap-on socket in the double wall frame connector.
So you're trying to find it?
I can't get it out. Right there.
That's what you've been looking for?
That's what I've been looking for the last hour.
We're obsessed with Obsessive today.
Tony's coming today. The owner of the car, so we want it to look nice for him.
So what Tim's working again on here is Obsessive. He's matching up the interior to what the customer has approved, and the carbon fiber exterior stripes, he's running that pattern in the car as well.
This is one of the trunk panels. Covers up the subwoofers and the air tank for the air ride system. We decided we would go with the same kind of a style that the outside of the car is, which is carbon fiber and black. It's just vinyl, but the process that they do makes it look like carbon fiber.
35 cents says no. Oh wait, I got more. Here's $1 freaking something. I win.
Throw money out.
I win.
Pick it up.
What are you doing?
Thank you.
Mike, what am I doing with this? He just handed me this and walked away.
She just took all her money.
What? You lost? I forgot $1.
You're gonna throw money around the shop.
We're not throwing money, we're making bets. Easter was good and bad all at the same time. I had way too many family members in one place, but it was awesome. My parents came down from Ottawa. It was all good. They stayed for 3 days. I got his bike done, I got his trailer done. He was super happy with it. All is good. And then the in-laws and everything came over. We had a dinner with a burnt ham. You know who you are. And that was it.
Okay, this is Obsessive, and what we've all been struggling away with here for a long time is getting this body as perfect as absolutely possible, and the combination of incorporating the carbon fiber stripes, and now with the addition of a blue pinstripe, which really breaks it up but highlights it all at the same time. So we're just going through now the final process prior to polishing, which is knocking it down. We call it cut and polish.
This is what's in it. I'm starting off with 1,000 grit paper. I could start with a 600, but we're going to do 1,000 grit, then 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, then 3,000, then the 3-stage polish. We use actually acrylic blocks, so it's flexible, but it's still hard at the same time. So when you're sanding, you get a nice, perfectly flat finish. We see a lot of people, they'll get the paper by hand and go, and you actually get finger marks in it. But when you want it really flat, you use a block, and you know that you're not leaving fingerprint impressions, you're not using finger marks or anything like that. So when you look down the side of the car, it's literally like you're reflecting off glass. So that's the whole big thing, is we want this car to be absolutely just beautiful, and look down the side of the car and it's just a perfect mirror image.
We're getting the last little bits ready, which are the engine bay itself. The car itself has been painted. You can see from the panels you saw just a minute ago, the whole theme has been carried through the car. So beautiful black, metallic black paint. And then everything outside of the black is going to be a soft, what we call a satin black. So the engine is getting ready now. It'll be going back in here probably this afternoon or tomorrow. Transmissions here, it's going to get painted black this afternoon to match everything up. But the rest of the car has turned out exceptionally well. We're doing a transition from metallic to satin, and then into the body itself. All the handmade scoops and so on, you can see now the end result of all that super hard work. It's turned out phenomenally well. So we're going through the same process here. Heavy layers of clear over top of the paint process, and then we'll just start sanding this all down or blocking this all down to get that mirror-like finish over the whole car.
So ridiculous. The things we do to you. What's the new excitement in your life, Mike?
I got another boat.
Don't sound so happy about it.
Not another truck.
What's the challenge with the boat, Mike?
Well,
Work to do.
First off, it's got a Chevy power plant, so there's the first problem.
Hey, but just remember,
Aren't you a
you
Mopar guy,
bought
Mike?
it.
Oh.
You bought the boat.
Couldn't afford a Mopar.
Well, you can find your Mopar.
So I dropped my socket inside the frame. Couldn't see it, couldn't feel it. You only got a finger's hole in there. After an hour, finally got it.
Who's the man?
I'm the man.
This is the heart of Obsessive. This is now a 5-liter Super Cobra Jet Coyote motor from Ford Racing.
We just got it back from Watson Engineering, from the dyno, and they had to detune it so that it was better for the street. And it came out with, I got the dyno sheet here, hold on 1 second. Came out with 925 horse at 7,700 RPM. And basically 700 foot-pounds of torque from 4,500 all the way to 9 grand. So it's pretty beefy. This thing will sit at idle at 300 horse, which is nuts.
We want to give this the old car look, and these valve covers are something that you will see on something from the late 60s, the old Cammer 429s, 427 engines from Ford. What we've done over top of your Coyote valve cover is we've manufactured from billet aluminum a brand new valve cover. Now this will all get polished out. You can see the bottom versus the top. We'll get this all polished to the same kind of configuration and shine. This will all snap back on. These panels in here will be carbon fiber. They may have some, we may get into some louvers in there. And Jeff has been hiding all the wiring, the fuel lines, everything else behind here to give the whole look really super clean when it goes into the car. So you won't see wires hanging all over the place. You won't see fuel lines. You won't see any of that. It'll look extremely clean.
Your boot fine? You have 2 shoes on now?
Solid. You glue the heel back on? Remember shoe glue as a kid? Mom put it on everything.
Shoe goo?
Shoe
Oh my
glue?
god.
Everything.
Like, anything that was broken. Mom's like, shoe goo. We're like, no, that's
like-
just for shoes.
It was like early 90s. Like literally,
Shoe goo.
I had shoes for 4 years. And they didn't have soles. They just blew
Have you
them
heard of
back
shoe goo
on.
before?
Yeah.
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 Oh, it was on
It
everything.
was everything.
Put that shit on everything.
Really.
Like, is that a hot sauce thing? Yeah, anyway.
See, the
Okay.
dog, he needs sugar.
Dog does not eat sugar.
He needs something.
So this gentleman has purchased a bit of stereo equipment from us, and now Jeff is doing the tuning on it for him so that when he's screaming down the highway, he can hear his radio over his exhaust, which is good for everybody else around, I guess, because then we get to enjoy the good music as well. So that's pretty cool. It's something definitely different here.
Go.
Episode 8, done.